Welcome to this video in which I'm going to be talking about the London Business School MBA program. So in case you are looking at applying to the LBS program this year, 2017-2018, then you have come to the right place. So let's look at the program itself, right? So what are the highlights of the London Business School program? The first thing, and in case you have been to the website, you see that all over the place. Columbia does that, okay, because it's in New York. London Business School, the name London itself is in the B school name, right? So you really are at the financial capital of the world in some sense. The location, plays a huge role because if you look at it, it is so the geography plays a huge role because when a recruiter comes to a particular college, he's going to come to a college which is easily accessible, right? And most of the top companies, name any company, pretty sure has a headquarters in London, correct? For that reason, London Business School is a top choice just for its location. The second thing is, unlike the US schools, I think London Business School, because it's in UK, it's not necessary that only UK guys come. You have a lot of people coming in from Europe. You have a huge representation from Asia, and then you have people coming in from the US as well, US and Canada. So for that, it's a very nice international mix. I think the international diversity that you have is a lot more than what you can find in some of the US programs. Third thing, flexible scheduling. You have a 15-month option, 18-month option, you have a 21-month option. So you can arrange your schedule so that you can even pursue a second internship. So the flexibility of scheduling, flexibility of the course is again a huge draw for London Business School. So that's another point that you would probably want to look up on the website, read a little bit more details. I think the other part is the experiential learning. I think this is something that a lot of schools are talking these days, where it talks about, the school has an organizational audit and global business experience, both of which are required of all students, which gives the students a way by which they can apply the classroom knowledge onto real world scenarios, right? So again, as I said, schools are kind of focusing a lot of attention on practical knowledge rather than just theoretical knowledge. So if you are a person who believes that I like to apply what I learn, then London Business School would be a great place for you. Okay, where you have a simulated real life environment, correct? So you actually are not making the same risks, but you get to explore what you would do in real life. Okay, so some of the salient features. I think one more point that probably I should talk about also is because of its financial connection to the London, the city. LBS also has a lot of people getting into the financial sector in London, correct? Now, having said all of this, one thing that I would like you to also note is if you're an international applicant, if you're an Indian who's applying to London Business School, remember that you also need to be careful about the economy right now with Brexit. I know students, so one of my students, what happened is she was placed with a tech company, and the tech company was not able to get her a visa for that particular year. So they actually got her back to India and they got her a visa for their office in Switzerland, and from Switzerland she basically moved back to London, correct? So what I want to tell is, if you are smart, if you are good, and if the company wants to hire you, right, large companies will figure out a way to work around the process, right, the red tape. They'll figure out a way to get you, correct? But that's always a risk that you're going to have when you're applying to a place like UK. Now, coming specifically to the deadlines, we have the first deadline on September 15th, as with most top schools, early round 1, September 15th. Earlier it used to be in October, now everything has moved to September. You have the second round, which is on 3rd Jan, okay? So that's your classic winter, post New Year break coming up, which is on 3rd January. And then third round is on 2nd March. And then you have a fourth round on 20th April. International applicants don't even think about round 4. I might be tempted with round 3, but if I really am looking at LBS as my top pick, then I probably am going to look at round 1, September 15th, or round 2, which is January 3rd. Okay, don't push it beyond that. So the application essays at London Business School, fairly straightforward. You just have one essay to write, a career goals essay. You have 500 words. It says, what are your post-MBA goals, and how will your prior experience and the London Business School program contribute towards these? So you have the post-MBA program, you have your prior experience, and then you have the London Business School MBA program. How will all three of them fit? 500 words. So here is what you would do. Break it down into 3 parts. The first part, you have to talk about your prior experience. I mean, that's how the flow would fill, correct? So you need to talk about what have you done so far in your life, correct? Bring it to a stage where you say, this is what I have done and this is what I have come to realize, right? When I started my career, when I look back, I didn't know what I wanted, but now after my career of whatever 4, 5, 6 years, I've realized that I want to get to the next level, and this is where you need to talk about your post-MBA goals. Be specific. Try to tell what kind of industry, what is the job role you're looking at, correct? So you have to be very specific about that. So you spoke about your background, spoke about what is it that you want to do post-MBA. Then talk about what is it that you need in order to get there. So you might want to talk about what roles such as that would entail. What are the things that you need to equip yourself with, correct? So that becomes your second paragraph. And then your third paragraph, what you will gain from London Business School that will help exactly meet these requirements. It's very important that you tie London Business School back to the requirements. A, who you are. B, what you want to do and what you need. C, how LBS will help you get there. Sounds simple. 150 words for each of the 3 parts. Strong start, strong finish, maybe another 50 words. So all put together, about 500 words should be all that you need. Good news, there is just an optional essay. So optional essay, you probably want to make sure that you're writing about either a gap in your academic life, in your professional life, or it could be something that you plan to do, did not find its place anywhere else in the application. Whatever it is, don't use it to retrofit another story. One mistake that students do is they say, oh, by the way, since you're giving me this opportunity for an additional essay, let me tell you about this one time where I did this great project. Okay, so don't say something like that. Okay, so I hope it was useful. In case you are applying to London Business School this year, why don't you just go ahead and let us know. I would love to know how Crack Verbal can work with you for your application this year. As always, if you're part of any group, if you're part of any forum, you think this analysis would help them, why don't you just go ahead and share this information. People will thank you for it. Maybe you can get some positive good karmas. As always, if you leave your comment below, I'd be more than glad to personally respond to each of your queries. Alright, so thanks a lot, and wish you all the best for your applications.